and we're going to be looking at how to find patterns in these lists. And we're going to be able to predict terms and be able to figure out whatever term that we want. So this is a sequence because it's a list of numbers. This one does have a pattern, but I'm not going to tell you what the pattern is for a little bit. I want you guys to kind of struggle with it a little bit and try and guess what's happening. So the instructions say to determine the next three terms of the sequence, 0, 3, 8, 15, 24. So in a minute we'll write it down, but the hint is to figure out what happens between the numbers. So how do we get that? Okay, so that's what we're saying. How do we come up with that? So the difference between 8 and 3 was 5. So what are you doing? So to get from 3 to 8, what are you doing?
I add 5.
Add 5, okay.
And then any more longer 5.
It's not 5 anymore. What is it?
It's 7.
7.
And then instead of 7, it's going to be 9. So I put 5 and then I add 2.
So then what's going to be the next one?
It's going to be 11.
11.
And you got 35. And then you got 13.
And then 15. So we're figuring out the pattern between the numbers. Yeah? It doesn't happen this way every single time, but it's kind of just like a puzzle. Just try and figure it out. Guess, see if it works. For me, these are fun. So let's do another one. So it's going to be the same instructions. Determine the next three terms, and we have a different sequence here. Determine the next three terms. So before writing the answers, what's happening in this one? What are you doing every time? Yeah, this pattern just stays times 4, times 4, times 4, times 4. The 4 never changes. There's a name for this sequence, but we'll write down this is times 4, times 4, times 4, and so on. This is called a geometric sequence. When you multiply by the same thing every single time, it's called a geometric sequence. So did we get the next three numbers?
Yes.
So what are the next three numbers? So those are the correct answers. And let's write down this is a geometric sequence. We're not dealing with these today other than just maybe some of them happen to be geometric. We're not learning any rules for geometric today. But when you multiply or divide by the same number every single time, it's a geometric sequence. That's the definition. A sequence that progresses by multiplying a number and the same number. That number never changes when you multiply by the same number every single time. So that'll be a geometric sequence. That number is called the common ratio. We'll get to that later on when we talk more about geometric sequences. But the common ratio in this case would be 4 because everything's getting multiplied by 4 to get to the next term.